Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 2. Congratulations on completing the assignments and meeting the workshop deadlines and really engaging in the workshop conversations. I hope they were helpful for you in helping you with your writing and the feedback as well. So this week, I just want to launch off with a few updates, but also details and changes that you might be noticing within this specific module. I want to give you some tips too about some time management and how to make sure that you are getting the most out of the workshops with some adjustments that I've made. So the first thing I want to talk about is specifically Module 2, and there are going to be 3 workshops to engage in spaced out throughout the week to give you time, number 1, to complete the summary assignment, but then also really work toward the next bigger assignment which we have, which is the critical response. You're going to be using your summary to also create your critical response. So hang on to that, and I hope it's a topic that you enjoy and that you can get some deeper meaning behind. So with that, just remember that the workshops are designed for practice opportunities. So specifically in this module, I'm going to ask you to share a lot of your writing and your preparatory writing. And I want you to be okay with that. I want you to find that it's safe to be able to do whether you're on one end of the spectrum of writing or on the other. This is not a competition. This is really about you getting feedback from me and some words of encouragement from your fellow classmates. So I want to make sure that you're okay with sharing that. One adjustment that I'm going to be making is the time that I am setting due dates for those modules. Because sometimes they end on a midnight and then the next assignment is due right after, it's not giving me enough time to provide you with the adequate feedback. So I'm actually going to change those to 8 p.m., which gives me a little bit more time to give you the feedback that you need to move forward and progress with your assignments. The other thing that I would recommend on your side of it is to get them in before 8 p.m. so we can engage in a little bit more dialogue. And I'm okay if the conversation extends beyond the due date, if you will, for the workshop. That's perfectly okay with me. So that is one adjustment that you're going to see in this particular module and then probably following after it. The second thing I want to talk about is the library guide. So each of you should have a library ID, and if you don't, you can certainly request one from the library. It is located on the left-hand panel of the library guide when you link into it, which is in our classroom. And then, the Patrick at the library and his team will be able to help you quickly get a library ID. They are really prompt with that because they know it's important to you. The other thing that I want to talk about is the online databases. I'm so glad that many of you have chosen articles from the online databases because they do offer the immediate citation there. But I want to say that it's really important that when we use those sources, that they're current sources. So when I say current, probably within the last 8 years would be an extension or a stretch from that. And so we're going to be using those sources more frequently. So if you chose a summary, an article to summarize that isn't from those library sources, it's important that you kind of get in there and start perusing how to actually use and navigate those online databases. I love them. So when I was at Eastern Michigan, I used them a lot. That was kind of like the internet back then and how we did research. Google really didn't even exist. And so now, many, many years later, I still use those sources. And because I work for Baker, I have those access. But when I didn't, I used the Eastern Michigan online databases to really help me out. And publicly, the state of Michigan actually has access to those online databases too. So they really want you to be able to access information as much as possible. Okay, so the third and last thing that I want to share in this announcement is writing integrity. So if you've noticed, each of the assignments that you've submitted does have the UniCheck, plagiarism, double checker, and review integrated into each assignment. And that's really important to me as your instructor, that your ideas are coming from you. That's really what this class is about, is ensuring that you have original ideas, but that you can actually back them up with adequate research-based sources. So each of those assignments does have that on there, and there's a gauge or a percentage that you'll probably see that your submission actually falls into. Some of it, like 5%, which is great for your the diagnostic writing. Many of you were in the 5% range, but then others of you were actually in the 30 to 40% range. So we want to avoid that. And when I look at that, it really puts into question for me, what are your original ideas and what are ideas that you've captured from someplace else? The same thing with your articles. So I read the articles, believe it or not. And so when I read and compare to your summaries and I see a lot of similarity between your article and your summary, it tells me that a lot of times there's not as much of your original ideas as we would like to see. So these are skills that we're growing into as far as the summary and also the research, but make sure that when you are preparing your final documents that you do your best to create those from your original ideas and then use the source to kind of back up those ideas. I think that's pretty much it. I hope you're all going to have a great week. I wanted to share this with you on a Saturday because it's important to me that you kind of get a heads up or some time to be able to prepare for the week ahead because it is a busy week. And so please let me know if you have any questions. You can send me inbox messages through Canvas. I also do IM chat through Google Hangouts if you'd like to go that way. I'm also on that. And if you need to, you see me here on this video and it is for real. I'm taping it right as learning is happening and I'm happy to share with you a phone call conversation that you need a little help with. So from there, I will see you later on this week and I will put some videos on for those workshops because I know some of the things you might be a little nervous about, like APA, and so we're gonna work to help you in making sure that you're confident in using APA correctly. And it's a developmental skill, so don't feel like you have to get it right the first time, but we want to make sure that you have knowledge of what that looks like and how to really integrate it into your cited works. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.